Hello, everyone. Welcome into THR Live. How about that? Blair Cartwright, Carrie Toby. How are you this evening? I was hoping I was going to have time to get a photo of us when we were back in the day at 4029, but I didn't have time to do that.
Yeah, I
But
mean
I
those
think,
etchings that the
yes,
drawings that they had to do. They didn't have cameras back then, Blair. What are you
that's
talking about?
true. I know. I think this is the first time we've ever been together on a live broadcast, even though we worked together for what, 3 or 4 years?
4 years? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Now that is great. Live on the desk. You're right. I did throw to you for some features and some stories, but actually
unfortunately.
anchoring and I mean just being together on a cast. Yeah, it's the first time, and it
Yeah,
only took us 30 years to make it happen.
I know. And we finally got the clock going. We got a lot to get into. Latest news, thoughts, whatever. We appreciate you joining us on YouTube. I don't know how the live chat works yet, so if you're chatting with us, I'm sorry. I'm probably not going to see it because I this is all new to me because we're live. But hey, hopefully not the last time we'll be live. Let's get into college football. A lot to talk about. Mike Gundy let go yesterday, a bombshell out of Stillwater. 4-11, not how you want to go out. By the way, his last Power 5 win was, do you know?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah. So, I mean, the fallout is amazing from this. They ate the $15 million buyout, which
Hmm.
wasn't going to reduce whether they did it now or later. But were you surprised by the timing of it? A Tuesday after they played on a Friday.
You know, Blair, honestly, I'm not really surprised anymore with college football. The atmosphere, the environment is so completely whacked. It has changed so much that they will, programs will do anything now. And I think a lot of behind what happened with Gundy was not just the record. I think there was also a little hesitance and reluctance to conform to the new age. He from what I've heard, there have been some rumblings that he wasn't really getting along real well, wasn't cooperating, and he was kind of becoming almost a problem. So he almost wrote his own exit. Drew his own exit
Mm-hmm.
basically. So and you know what he was the second longest tenured college football coach
Yeah, 21
behind Kirk
years.
Ferentz, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That is phenomenal. Never supposedly until last year never had a losing record.
Yeah,
So well, that's funny. I'm gonna make a little reference here.
yeah,
Mike Anderson never had a losing record, got fired.
yeah,
Mike Tomlin never had a losing record, should be fired. It's in
yeah.
Pittsburgh. Mike Gundy never had a losing record until last year, gets fired. So no, I wasn't necessarily surprised, Mike. I mean Blair. It's just college football today, and it's insane. With they know they can restructure and start getting players and pour more money and kind of follow Texas Tech's roadmap if possible.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting though. Chad Weibrigg, who's the AD at Oklahoma State, has been without a contract since June. And he
And
had the press conference yesterday, stepped up, owned it, said it was his decision, was asked, well, do you have a new contract? I'm not ready to discuss that at this point, which means he most likely has a contract and thus made the move. Hey, you fire him, we'll give you a deal. But why would you do it now unless it's that toxic? Because and then people are like, I already see candidates. We're 4 games into the season. NFL coaches are just getting started in their season. It's not like
right.
anybody's going to quit their job and come take this one. I mean,
Nobody that you're probably going to want, right?
yeah,
You can probably find an assistant
exactly.
coach somewhere that's, hey, let's give this guy a chance. But nobody's in a position that they really like that wants to build a resume is likely to take this job. So
Yeah,
I
it's
you know, I don't know. I guess they just play out the rest of the season. They let people know the job's open. They start the negotiations with people and say, hey, is your team going to make the playoffs? If you're not, hey, maybe we'll start talking to you. So I guess they're just laying the groundwork to get that coaching search started early.
it's just the timing was just so odd. You'd played Friday,
Mhm.
you had all weekend to make the move. You got
That's
a
true.
game this week. You got a game this week against Baylor, and you let him do all his media availability on Monday. He taped the coaches show Monday night. Just bizarre. But as the AD said, there's never a good time to do this. The portal
Just
window
getting it done.
opens, but where are you going to go? Everybody's in season. Nobody knows who's leaving, who's coming back.
Nope.
So
You get your
that's
interim
not
coach.
real.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just get your interim. You play out the rest of the season, and the way they were playing anyway, they're looking at another 2-10,
Oh,
3-9 season.
yeah.
So what do they get? Just get rid of, rip it off the Band-Aid, and get started. So it's
You
college football today.
you got to think somebody ponied up the money and
Oh,
said,
that's
"Here's the
true.
money. Let it go, and off you went." All right.
Which is kind of surprising, but since they lost T. Boone Pickens, right, they haven't
Yeah.
had the coffers that they used to have. 'Cause T. Boone would throw
Yeah.
crazy money
Oh
at them,
yeah.
and it just okay. Just think about if T. Boone was alive. T. Boone Pickens was alive
Pick.
today.
Yeah.
Pickens, yeah, in this environment, holy cow, man! He wouldn't hesitate to throw
Yeah.
whatever it took. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
we've
Very
eaten
odd.
up the clock.
We're eating the clock, but that's okay. That's what we do on this
Yeah,
show.
we're running the
All right.
ball.
Let's get to the Arkansas Razorbacks. I've got some graphics
Who?
I'm going to show you that you don't know about. I want to get your reaction to
No, I don't.
because I'm wondering if Arkansas has missed their window in the SEC. And this is what I'm talking about. As we take a look, 34 seasons. You're above around 500 overall. 7 conference seasons, you've been above 500. You've been ranked a little bit. Not bad. Okay. Back when it was 12 teams, you 48%. That's not bad in conference games. You made it to Atlanta 3 times.
Hmm.
6 times you had a winning record in conference. This one blew my mind, and this came from SportsReference.com. Since Missouri and A&M joined the league, look at that SEC record: 29-80, 25%.
Yeah,
You've only
you
had
know,
one winning record, 5-3, and now you've got Oklahoma and Texas in the league.
yeah, it shapes up very nicely, doesn't it?
It's stunning, isn't it? I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. I also did. I checked some numbers since, and I included Chad Morris. Maybe the name shall not be spoken, but I included
Yeah,
his record from his first year. Only team that has fewer SEC wins is Vanderbilt
yeah,
in the conference, and it's kind of a long shot, a long margin between us and the next team, which I think is Kentucky, something like that. So
mm-hmm.
it has been rather abysmal. Yeah, man, I don't know what you're doing now. You ask, have we missed the window? I don't think we've missed the window because the windows now are remade every year, right?
Okay,
Texas Tech, you could say Texas Tech missed a window, but because they weren't
yeah,
they were okay. But if you get the right money involved, you get the right people involved, you get the right players in place and the right coach in place, I think you can compete any year. Vanderbilt is 4-0. Holy
yeah,
cow! I wish we were Vanderbilt this year.
and they're
And
ranked.
I do want
Okay,
to say that I'm going to say this real quick, and this is not an excuse, but you think we are two grip the footballs away from being 4-0.
yeah,
Almost. You feel like you were going in to score on both of those. So, but it's the same old, same old, same old. We keep losing the games. When it's one score, we choke. We don't have that killer instinct. It's hard to argue with it at this point. So,
yeah,
yeah, that is a very disturbing stat, and I wish you hadn't shared that with me, actually.
yeah. I mean, I was just blown away by that. In the 14 seasons since
25%.
Missouri and A&M have joined the league, you've only won 25% of your games. Now, granted, Chad Morris won no games in
No game,
conference
zero.
over 2 years, so
Yep.
that skews it a little bit. But still, and now you
Yeah.
have Texas and Oklahoma joining the league. You're surrounded by conference schools,
Mhm.
so it's
You
tough.
are.
And yeah,
I think, look, here's, I believe this to be the case. I don't know if I don't have any inside information, but
yeah,
I think if Arkansas wins this week, they beat Notre Dame, which the way it goes probably will.
yeah,
Pittman stays for a while.
hmm,
I wouldn't be surprised if we lose next week. We're talking about a coaching search.
yeah. That
So,
okay. That kind of leads me into the
oh,
next
sorry.
topic.
All
The
right.
third lane. Hunter Yurchek referred to the third lane in Little Rock. How do you get to the third lane if you can't even raise money to stay in the first 2 lanes? I mean, what does. I mean, and is he accusing schools of cheating? Which It kind of implies that they are. But if you can't raise money, how are you going to cheat?
And that's a great point. Yes, he is. I don't know if he's. Yeah, I think he's implying they're approaching it with not so much integrity,
Yeah.
with putting your morals aside and doing what you got to do to compete. Even though there's an ethical boundary, not a rule boundary, just an ethical kind of boundary. And I'll be frank, man, part of me kind of likes that. There are things, if it's ugly, then I don't necessarily want a program involved. I want to win.
Hmm.
I say our program. I'm
Yeah.
not very what is it non-biased here. I've
Yeah.
been a
That's
Razorback
all right.
fan since I was 5 years old. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, and that point you just made is something I actually hadn't heard, Blair. Is okay, that's great. You're talking about the third lane. We don't have money for the second lane.
Yeah. I mean, how are you
Where
going
are
to
you
get
going to
to
get
the third?
the
Yeah.
third lane?
I mean, is that what the
And here,
Razorback raffle's going to do? Is going to pay? I mean, that's kind of what it's supposed to do anyway. I mean, are we going
you
to have a
think
bake sale? Are we going to sit on the corner this weekend at MLK and 49 and hold up a sign and have a
you know
jar?
what we should do, Blair? You know what?
I
You know
mean,
it'd
we
be nice.
should. Yeah.
How about if we get a sponsor for the stadium? How about if we get a
Yeah.
name sponsor for Razorback Stadium? That's a great idea, right?
Yeah. I mean, you keep giving Donald W. Reynolds the plug, and they're not paying for it.
And see,
So,
I don't even care about. My point is, you knew it was going to be. You knew that contract was up. You knew the naming rights were going to end.
hmm,
You'd think you'd have somebody in place.
well, and it goes back to kind of the comments in Little Rock.
Hmm.
What's the plan? Is there a plan? I mean, you're talking about
That
maybe selling the naming rights in the next 18 to 22 months. That's 2 years. You knew
yeah,
the contract was up. NIL is here.
yeah,
You're going to get to the
and
third lane. You can't even get a plan to stay in the first two lanes. It's mind. And then you wonder why the fans get mad. There's no solution.
there's no solution. And in the environment with the Little Rock Touchdown Club, that's not a place where hard questions are going to be asked,
No.
which they should have been asked.
And it
If
should
Hunter
be a
Years,
pep rally. Yeah.
well, if he's going to say those things, somebody, not in that situation, that environment, I get it, but you want to hear the question. Okay, so if we're not there, why are we not there?
How do we get there?
Details, and how are we going to get there? What do we have
Yeah.
to do to get there? So I wrecked my brain trying to figure out what the motivation was. What would inspire someone to say what he said? Now, another thing, I appreciate honesty. Look, we
Yes.
hear coach speak all the friggin' time, right?
Granted.
Always.
Yes.
You could hear a question, and almost every one of us could sit back and go, I know exactly what the coach is going to say. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Coach speak. One of the things that I do admire, and I like Sam Pittman a lot. I really do. I have a lot of respect for him. I love the honesty, even though he gets beat about the face and head for it. I
Hmm.
love his honesty. I want it. And what else is Yurchek going to say? We're not. We're built to win a national championship. We're built to compete for a national title. We're just not doing it. Or are we set up to win it? Not yet. But then again, whose fault is it that we're not set up to win it? Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that is your job. Well,
Yeah.
it's one thing. You just don't say it in a public setting like that, especially
Right.
in front of people you would like to tap into their wallets. I mean,
Or I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I got a thought.
Coach, if Coach Broyles was there, he would have had everybody up calling the hogs, going wild, writing checks, throwing money. I mean, he would have turned it into a pep rally. And granted, you were 2-1 at that point. You're a fumble away from being 3-0, and everybody left depressed and upset. And then you had what happened in Memphis.
Yeah. 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 This is a series of unfortunate events, and some of them were by choice. And I do want to say something. When I say we
Yeah.
were 2 fumbles away, 2 holding balls from being 4-0, there's still no excuse for being in that position against Memphis.
Oh yeah.
As,
Yeah.
as the team in the SEC, there's no excuse for that.
Who
So
you
I'm
do
not trying to
have
excuse it.
who you do have more money than and more
No doubt,
resources than.
and more talent on the field. You should
Yeah.
have every advantage, and to score 3 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Mm. Not good.
And before we get to the next one, a lot of talk
Yeah.
about Petrino and an interim because we might
Right.
have a change this weekend. From what I am hearing, it would be difficult for that to happen. It was difficult to hire him as OC. Things had to be changed. Now, that doesn't mean things can't be changed again because of
Right.
university policies that are in place that might
Hmm.
have been altered to get him where he is
It,
now.
it's true.
Further altering would have to be done to make that happen, is what I understand. Now, that doesn't mean it can't happen, but I think that needs to be out there because people are just assuming it's going to be a done deal. I'm hearing it may not be and may not even happen. So just something
Fair point.
to, to keep in mind there.
But it could
Uh,
be the interim, right? Would that keep him from being the interim?
yes,
Yeah, that's
from what
fine
I'm
because it is.
told, it could. Yes,
It could keep
yes,
him from being the interim coach as well.
because it would be a supervisory role, and that is
Right.
somehow they've
Right.
structured it. So, but that doesn't mean they won't do it. So we go from Arkansas to Clemson, who has national
Okay.
championships, who has a
Hmm.
coach, sitting coach who's done it, but he also has a $60 million buyout. He's angered his fan base. Boy, how does this play out? I mean, this is not going well. They're off to their worst start ever, and they
Hmm.
still have Florida State left on the schedule. I mean, they were in the playoff last year, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be. They're not going to fire him midseason, right? Not
No, I
not what,
wouldn't think
at the end
so.
of the year. At the end of the year, what is his buyout? Does it change at the end of the season?
I don't
These things
think
I don't know.
so. But if he
Okay.
keeps
Well then,
but if he keeps angering the fan base, and who was
yeah.
it? Tyler from Greenville. Lord knows if he calls the show again. I mean, what do you do if it just keeps going south? Do you try to reach a settlement? Because no coach is going to settle.
No, they're just going to fire him. Look, they got their national championship out of him, right? How much you say his buyout
Yeah,
was?
60.
60 million.
And let's not forget how much they've spent on lawyers suing the ACC to get the new deal that would let them out if there's a super conference.
They spent a lot of money.
I
But how
mean,
many national
yeah.
championships did they get out of it?
I don't know, unless they got a booster who can write a $60 million. I mean, they're just going to have to pound sand and like it, I guess.
Yeah, they are. Look, and here's a parallel to me. Is
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. Mike Gundy, Dabo Sweeney. What are the biggest problems? They are reticent to get involved in the NIL, to do the
Yeah.
things nowadays that you have to do to compete with this new environment. So, and they're gone. Well, Dabo's
Yeah.
on his way out. So you got Hunter Yurachek and Sam Pittman, integrity. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to do things the right way. Unfortunately,
That world doesn't
it's going to keep you
exist.
from competing. And if you don't compete, you don't win games. You don't win games. Fans get upset. Everybody gets upset. And, it creates the environment that we're in today with Arkansas
Yes. Yes. And
and college
other,
football.
yeah, and other schools. So the peril of midseason firings. The portal opens for 30 days, but you don't have anywhere to go. The bigger
Right.
question, if you do it early like UCLA, Virginia Tech, and Oklahoma State, guys can play 4 games or less and keep their red shirt. So now you run the risk if you make a move and you have more than four or more games on the schedule, guys can say, "Hey, I'm done. I'm preserving my year."
Right.
Do you think we'll see that happen?
Yeah. Oh, it's a business now. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what's happened to college football. They have to make a business decision. And if they can save that redshirt year, I'm not going to play. I'm done. Right?
The only thing I can think you would not, you need video of you in action for when you hit the portal so they have something to look at. So it's kind of a, what do? You want to play because you need the video to show them what you can do, because if you haven't seen the field, and you're
You've seen the field somewhere, right? There's a reason you are
yeah,
where you are. You've seen the field
true.
somewhere. And if you've
Okay.
transferred in, there's a reason somebody brought you in. So I would hear an agent. I could hear an agent going, "Hey, you don't need to play. We can show him this. We can tell them what
Yeah.
you will do. We can tell them how this translates into exactly what they're looking for their program. So just take a chill. Don't play, or gator arm that next pass, or don't take that hard hit. When that running back's coming at you, don't make that
Yeah.
tackle.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm
That's
not. Look, not making any accusations. Just
no.
saying.
Yeah. Well, no, it makes you wonder because
Mhm.
and granted, there's some talk that the portal they haven't really solidified the January date. Now there's talk of 5 years to play five. So we'll see as the clock about to wind down. Let me give you the last word.
Look, man, college football has changed. Or not, but I'm still talking. Hey, we're still here.